It is, in fact, Flying Spies just trying to dictate the pace a little bit, trying to just take position away from the other team's choke point and make just a bit of an awkward stare-down between the two teams here. See what they can do from enemy territory. Nerf going in, doesn't get much. The scout still pushes across, tries to get to the medic if anything, but just nothing works, and they just take an enemy position away, and agents didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, that one came on much quicker than I thought. We're now a minute into the match, and I didn't even know that it was on when I was still talking.
Honestly,
yeah.
I don't think agents did either. He looked a little bit lost on the spit fight.
Absolutely. But for Flying Spies Black here, they've come through with a nice big 100% Uber and a mid cap. So that's a great start with a minute and 15 in.
That should help you, the super advantage. I mean, seconds should be a formality to get at this point, right? Everyone's holding back. They did get a kill, I guess, but how much does that help if you can't find the force? Nerf spotted early, unable to do much of anything here on Soldier, and with that, that's the second one taken with uber advantage. Still in the hands of the blue team, and that's just gonna go straight into the last. As small as the advantage is at this point, you gotta take the chance.
Yeah, they've brought it straight on through. They've gotten quite a bit of ground, but they haven't actually achieved much in the way of frags. They have lost one of their players in the meantime as well, and it looks like a really good defense out of the red team here. They've even managed to get their Uber up without having to use it, so it looks like they want to use that straight on through into second. They've taken that lobby area. I think they're just figuring out where they want to take. But, you know, I mean, if you're the blue team here, you know they're pushing. But here they come, straight through that lower area. They're getting a bit of damage off, but they haven't yet used Uber. There is a soldier sacking through. I don't think he's going to be able to achieve very much. Conflux going down for his effort. They still have enough ad to use here.
Yeah, to think this all comes off a rare Sunshine Last Pyro as well. Really did a lot of work down the last hold and getting it all the way into mid. Soldier still hiding up top, but Lux might be missing his opportunity a little bit. They pop anyway. There's people in front of them. They just pop on those guys. Don't care that there's a guy behind. They see kills. They're gonna get the medic going down. And that's all they care about. And yeah, it costs them the demo man, but as long as they play safe from here, they should be fine. People already testing their luck on this one. Flying Spies going in from all directions. They see both of them coming, except for Toka, who gets in so close for the kill on the medic, but barely falls short. His stickies are flying, and finally, something connects off with the 2-for-1, including the medic. Eventually gets this 5-man sack some success.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I mean, Oz got a really good frag onto the med nice and early, though he did die for it. I think knowing that there was no demo man to really stop them or anything like that, they were just able to keep throwing players at it until something sticks. And I mean, they're totally happy to lose second for that. I mean, they've now got a 20% ad as they defend. It's not much, but it's enough.
We'll see. They gotta see what they can do with this. However, it looks like agents want to play this risky as well. They've got not a last. They want to keep going. They push this with KritzKast any moment. It's gonna be building a little bit fast, of course, but the margin will be small by the time they have 100 before Flying Spies has as well. So it's gonna be pushing their luck a little bit. If this is supposed to just bring the success off of the advantage alone, surprise factor has to do some heavy lifting for this one.
The surprise factor will probably be there. I think it's probably a pretty heads-up play here. I mean, they've built it up really, really hard. They're looking to use it straight on through that cafe area. Oz, ooh, he's looking for an opportunity. He's going to cycle back around. Might have given it away having the demo in there, but I don't think so. He's ready. He's looking through that choke. The crit sticky comes through. It doesn't connect with anything on the first one. Second one comes through, third as well. No connections, and Rain actually backed all the way out, went straight into lower and just went, nah, not happening, man. So, I mean, this is a golden opportunity now for them to push.
Yeah, if you avoid to crits this nicely, then it's time to go and see if you can maybe get away with not using as well. Bomb incoming early onto Chalk by Dog. Gets the kill too, but it's not on the combo, it's just a trade for the soldier in the end. 6 on point, nicely spotted out by the scouts as well, and no one else is daring too much on agents to take a chance. They're still knowing for sure on both ends of the fight here that this crits will make things awkward sooner or later, so Flying Spies got to cover some ground quick, and in fact, they want to not waste any time. They're popping through right away. Doesn't save the guy on the flank. Lux will still go down as much as Debo got popped on the combo. That's one down anyway, but Derp has any moment. They want to just get in here quick. They want to just get this damage forward as quick as they can, and everyone's still vaguely committed as well. They might be having some good opportunity here.
Yeah, it's looking like it's turning out fairly well for the blue team. They've managed to pick up quite a few players, including Author, sorry, wrong demo man. And they've actually managed to get the crits as well. Rain is bailing as hard as they can. They picked up Lux in that choke area, so they're gonna start building. But this crits, I mean, They have to use it soonish to be able to make anything really happen with it.
Yeah, this is the awkward situation where you want to have like a funny crit that gets you basically the round, right? If you get the medic on second, maybe. At this point, they're just still stuck with it and have to deal with the consequences, so let's see if they're ready for that one here. People are still committed, the sticks are flying, but Rain gets out of there real quick. Awful, not so much. Eats a sticky, will maybe die to any other damage now, and in fact, they catch Toka too, so at this point should be turning red. Even with Uber coming up soon for Rain, there's just not enough players left standing for Blue to really take a chance that might still get you back to last it is. And even then, there's only 4 alive, so there's a really good opportunity to just go in for a force play.
Yeah, and they've actually used straight on through into that lower area. They saw the demo man there. They're ready to get some frags. But in the meantime, Doc actually goes through onto last. A couple other players do as well, which is going to drag him straight back. So they weren't actually able to pick up the medic and the demo. But I think you're kind of okay with that because you know they're still running crits. You know, you can take this dry fight here like they're doing. They've walked straight on through, a lot of damage onto Wallers. Author doing a lot of the heavy lift while Toka takes out the medic in the back end. And Derp going down there, I mean, that's... it's finally time to swap back to Uber, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, now's the time, right? It's awkward to swap when you're not dying, but they've given them maybe a favor on this one. For what it's worth, though, the backup attempt was valid. It was just a second too late. Spawns were already coming and trying to push past the Uber, just get on point. Didn't quite work out on Agents, and with that, Flying Spies all the way back on the table here have big Uber advantage to just keep going from mid forward as well, and that's dangerous territory for Agents. This is pushing them dangerously close to last any moment. This is going to go into second, but I don't think any major hiccups here if no one's getting some miracles happening. Memory is trying to on Sniper. Cyclone from back, they're not great unless they're coming from exactly not where they're coming from right now.
Yeah, a bit of a tragedy there. Unable to really make a lot happen, I say, as Memories takes out Conflux on that second. I don't know if it's really going to slow them down a lot. They've still got 20% to play with in terms of advantage. They're taking it straight through that lower area. They come through with Vivi. Nice and deep onto Oz early. They do clean him up, but they lose Vivi in the middle of the Uber. A bit of a drop player. Their other scout getting a little bit of the Uber on the point, but the counter Uber comes out. Derp managing to get his Uber as well. They're able to push them straight on back out. They lose Author as well. This is just tragic.
I think I'm having deja vu. This is the exact same scenario we've seen before. 5 into last, just trying to make it work on the smallest sliver of an advantage still, but it just shouldn't be. It didn't get the damage going. Trade for a kill again, and then what do? You know they're going to have any moment. They got the force, which is really, really valuable, don't get me wrong, but it's not exactly a great advantage either. They forced this so quick. In essence, it's just basically a bad exchange, if you really think about it, with even Ubers afterwards almost. Not really making them have a good position on Flying Spies to actually push back into second with. Then, ironically, if they forced this even later than they would have right now.
Yeah, I mean, I was almost going to say that, at least, we finally get a second to catch our breaths a little bit collectively and even out a bit, but they did grind it up really, really hard on the side of, golly, I can't remember the names of both. They've ground that up really hard, but it's ended up even anyway. I don't think they were aware that they built themselves about a 25 out. But they're throwing a couple sacks in. We do see a counter sack out of Doc, a lot of damage onto Rain, and also managing to hit a pipe to save his med's life there. That was very dangerous.
Yeah, a lot of position the Devilman really likes to be in, but I mean, if it works, it makes you look good, so you take what you can get. Either way, though, it's gotta go the other way at some point here. They can't just be sitting there trying to defend themselves. They gotta go on the offense as well. In that case, the Soldier's trying to come through. Conflux around the tower, not getting very close, though. Mass making quick work of Soldier number 1, and Soldier number 2 not getting much further either. Lux not even getting past the tower at all at the current moment. They're still trying, though, from the other side. Scout Demoman trying to throw some damage over as much as they can, and they're hitting a lot of people weak, including Derp, but it's in fact Rain using first. They want to just make a quick exchange out of this one, dip, see what they can do for post-super position, but I don't think much of that is happening right now.
I mean, it was definitely a planned play. Half their team, everyone except for that scout and the solo backed out real early on that fight. They knew it was coming. But it kind of leaves them in a very poor position here because they're down both soldiers for one soldier. And the spawns are a little bit better for the defending team here. In fact, they're very keen to push straight on through. They've cleaned up Author nice and early, but they do lose Memories and Nerf as well as they push. They picked up enough players to push them straight out of mid, though.
If you're unaware, these pauses happen with STV delay in mind, so a little bit in the future from what you've seen just now. So this is not what happened, and let's just hope for the sake of the teams it's not a much more awkward moment than it just now was, where the pause happened for the players in the match here.
Yeah, we hate a really tragic pause. But they've come back on. We do see a little bit of advantage on the side of Flying Spies Black. They're defending against a couple of sacks here. Doc went in and did go down for it. They picked up another player in Choke as well. Maz going down and Nerf as well to the full damage. Oh man, they're going to be happy with this. 3 players down. They're pushing straight on through into mid. Derp fleeing, absolutely fleeing as they should. And that's a really well played like defense against sack there. However, the counter Uber comes through. Oz actually getting in, picking up 3 players almost immediately with that Uber. There is the counter Uber out of Rain there. But I mean, you've lost 3 players right off the bat. This is looking pretty grim for them. They've only got both scouts on the point. The rest of the players are sort of collapsing on them. They're fleeing out of the choke, and I think the point is going to go back into the hands of agents there. That was such a wild set of events, but they're not giving me time at all. They're looking to push straight on back through choke. Nerf with a bit of a... taking the attention as Doc comes in to clean up. Rain and Vivi in 2 quick rockets. They're throwing themselves at Derp now just to try to make up for it. They have managed to clean them up, but it's not really super great for either of them. That was where the pause was, so a lot more awkward, like you mentioned. The fighting's still going. Oz going down to Toka. Memories following up with a frag to clean up Toka, and it's just Author fleet. And I think Memories has thought better of that one and given up. What a wild set of fights.
All to end in a pause in the middle of a fight too. Unfortunately, my favorite thing didn't happen, which is someone jumping, the pause happens, and then you take 1,000,000 fall damage because you get thrown back into the ground by 1,000,000 gravity settings just running rampant doing the pause at the same time. Either way, the fighting keeps on going. They're not giving up this midpoint like you said. They want to have this thing so badly to have a chance in the first round, but Rain needs a lot of damage on entry. Does not even get in at all, and with the damage they're taking, clearly they can't stay here either. 2 down at the end of this all. Looks like Agents still beat them to the punch on the midpoint, and as weak as they are, it's going to be tough defending second at this point with 2 down, especially. So they're just being quick on Agents, see what they can do, and they can do plenty. This point's taken really quickly here off of just work on mid, really.
Yeah, it was actually... I'm really loving watching these teams play because they're very keen to take those dry fights and just push damage through onto particular players. Like the focus fire is actually pretty good out of both of these teams. So now we end up on an even Uber last hold. So a pretty classic Team Fortress moment. We get to sit here for the next 20 minutes and talk about nothing.
Well, we'll see. With how these teams have been playing so far, I don't know if nothing will happen. At the current pace we're going, I'm expecting plenty of things to go down. First of all, though, the gun has to leave. That's the big problem, as per usual. It's far back right now, but it's not helped much if the medics would be playing close to it. However, Rain's actually really far away from that thing, so actually not protecting him at all until the beam's going off the flank at some point. No one's taking the chances about that just yet, though, so like you said, Agent's still expecting the slow game, ready for it, and just slowly but surely figuring out how they want to approach this one. And the last time like this, you can afford to take a breather, and I guess they earned it. It's halfway through the game, and there was not been a quiet moment this game.
Yeah, there was an attempted sack there in the middle of all that. Doc tried to get in through that upper area and did get absolutely memed. They've just tried to sack back through the other way, and they did get memed on once again, including a death this time. Conflux coming through that lower, though, and picking up memories. It's pretty big, but it's just a trade in. With this one player out, it looks like Agents are looking to push straight on out. Sorry, Flying Spies are looking to push straight on out. There is an Uber trade in that back end. In the meantime, they've picked up a couple of players, but it's still looking pretty even here. The Ubers have now equalized once again. Author going down, though. Oz managing to pick up a miracle pipe directly onto Author, which is going to give them the room they need to push straight on back in. Vivi cleaning up Doc after capping the point, but it's not going to be enough. They're going to have to back out, and they even lose Rain, which is absolutely tragic.
Vivi with a good shot to get a scout there, but just too slow to get the 1v1 going in time, and by the time the shots were landing, it just turned into 5v1, and Toka got baited into that fight too, trying to help. Much too late to leave, and suddenly, no scouts on last with that and knowledge also. There's basically no off-class effectively here. Maybe just a chance to make some plays happen. They're once again really slowing it down. I feel like that's a big wasted opportunity. The Met on blue should be playing close to spawn, but you lose nothing just throwing a sack and testing your opportunity onto the Met here and seeing if it maybe lands. Maybe they're just not near the spawn door enough. Maybe the shots aren't landing and you just got a free Met kill right there, but No, they're letting this settle down. They know they have the advantage already. They don't want more than any of that. They just need to have this one work right now to take the lead.
Yeah, they use the Uber straight on through. Oz picking up the gun really early, but going down very, very low. Gets a flash to save his life, which is pretty good, but the frags aren't really going the way of the attacking team here. It's only Derp and Nerf left. Nerf stuck in last as well, so Derp is fleeing. Lux is straight onto him though, and just takes. So that's going to be that. It's a bit of a tragic push. It just fell apart.
Really good stuff by Lux as well. On the flank alone there while you were coming in the other side. Just stays there, does his job, does a million damage to anyone not on beam coming into last, and gets a kill out of this too. And the second one, just some people trying desperately to leave. Certainly not doing so successfully past that guy. With that in mind, big Uber ad on the side of Agents. Once again, it's a sniper here, waiting for the push to happen, and the soldier waiting close as well. So danger from the front and the back lines basically, but Doc's not taking his chance, wants to get out alive. Nerf, a lot more risky on that one here. Sees the medic straight in front of him, goes for the kill, but VV eats the rockets instead. There's only 100 damage hitting the medic, because 200 of that went onto the scout. And that's just not quite good enough. Memory's peeking really deep down until the bitter end as well, hoping for them to just peek. Still does, in fact. Really just want this kill. Both of these teams don't want to give up a midpoint whenever they have the chance to.
Dude, Memories is so bold with those peaks, and they didn't collapse on him and make up for it. That was Memories actually managing to backspawn as well and get off onto scout, so they're going to be expecting a sniper and receive a scout in their faces. They do send Lux straight on through, going for a sack. They have actually lost Lux, but they did pick up Memories in the middle of that one off the back of his damage. So that's going to even things out once again.
Yeah, a little bit of a slowdown here on mid to second for the first time. I haven't really gotten to see how these teams want to handle this damage necessarily too much, so might be interesting to see what ideas they have about this one. It's a tough one to crack a lot of the time. The team on blue, or the team on mid, sorry, more often than not on most of these maps, the better ones don't take the opportunities here. Look at that! Everyone's just getting baited at looking into flowers, and the soldiers just have nothing standing in the way between them and the medic coming in from left over on the cafe side and just getting in completely for free past everyone's side. Easiest force of their life. Does only cost one of their lives too. So you might even just go in with 5 anyway.
Yeah, that was so well played, managing to take all that attention there. I think they knew, you know, putting the beam into flowers there would just mean that they were able to pretty much get all of the ults. And now that they're ready to push straight on through with 50% ad, they're coming through that top right. They've cleaned up Nerf. Yes, they have. They've also cleaned up the gun. There is a pyro that goes down as well. Doc dying. So that's a 2-player ad. They do need to be a little bit fearful of this Uber as it comes together, but they're spending their time on the... They've cleaned up enough players to make this fairly easy. Dirt, the only one left, finally dying on the point, and that is that. After, what, 18 minutes and 30 seconds, the first round going the way of Flying Spies Black. I had to be sure I didn't get that wrong.
Yeah, and all it took was the first Uber push into last, where the team pushing in doesn't lose one instantly. It's that easy, as it turns out. Just don't die is the game plan, and so far, it's like Flying Spies does just barely better on that one. Here, back to mid it goes though. That was a very awkward one last time. The rotation certainly not as confident as it was before. Agents a lot quicker to take counter action here, just getting the bombs over across early, but not looking too good for the definitely not working out for Dog either. All too well. 3 for 2 trades, not so great. Blue bomb coming through and just completely pins that here. Lux a little bit late to the party, but just completely cuts off the exit they would have wanted to take, if not for that soldier.
Yeah, I mean, the momentum has swung, ladies and gentlemen. Flying Spies Black just able to pretty much dominate on that mid. I mean, they lost enough players to mean that it wasn't like a complete shutout, but wiping a team, I mean, you're happy. You've got full ad. Derp only just spawned as they hit 100%. So there's really, if they push this with any sort of speed, it's a full Uber push, right?
Pretty much. I mean, Agents have time for setup here. There will be a proper gun setup. They put the pyro and the heavy on the field, triple off class. In fact, actually, everyone's off classing. No one's on the mains anymore. Everyone's just hoping for the best to come out of this last ulti. Somehow dog forward again. We've seen this before. Not as effective this time around. Still wastes a lot of time. Super just doesn't get to the gun at all.
Yeah, I mean, the pyro defending lower there is really good. They've managed to clean up the pyro and the gun, but they're able to get so much time on the point. I told you, the momentum has swung, and that's 2 rounds. The second one very, very quick.
Yeah, it just happens like that sometimes, right? Sometimes you just grind out the game for like the majority of the time on the clock, but at some point something snaps, someone breaks, and someone runs away with it. And maybe that's what we're seeing here right now. Maybe Flying Spies just found out how to do it now, and just Agents can't recover. They have to badly win this mid-fight.
Yeah, Agents looking to take a slightly more aggressive direction. They've thrown a soldier directly in after they clean up Conflux nicely. Lux in that cafe area, I don't think anyone knew he was there, though. He gets quite a lot of damage on dirt. It's not really enough to make anything major happen. And he does get cleaned up for his efforts. Nerf going down as well. It's 2 for 2 so far. The mid just sort of keeps on playing. But in the meantime, we are actually seeing the Flying Spies Black able to take the point while the fight's still happening. Derp's still down very, very low, and the damage isn't quite there to make anything happen. Both teams still fighting. This mid is going on forever. Author finally going down. A nice big hit out of Doc there. That's going to give them what they need to be able to push them straight on back out. They pick up Conflux as well, which might give them enough room to push into second.
Yeah, Flying Spies at least made sure that by the time this mid-fight took an eternity to go through, they were in a position where they could leave. They positioned themselves nicely towards their own flowers, had an exit route, didn't get cut off like we've seen on mid-fight number 1 happening to Agents. So made damn sure they survived this, and it will pay off greatly here. They might have taken the L on mid, but they still have the one last, even if second just rolls through like it's nothing on top of that. So this will not be as nice an opportunity just yet as Agents might like, but it doesn't change them from just trying anyway.
And they managed to push straight in and drop Rain. That's going to give them so much room to maneuver here. However, they've lost like almost all of their players. Doc, the only player left alive, dying on the point. Tragic. They cleaned up Rain. It was such a golden push.
Met down, team, hello? What are you doing? That's the last thing you want to see when you get the med kill like this.
That's
oh boy,
crazy.
I mean, how do you bounce back from it, right? You're 2-0 down, you finally won a mid-fight, and then this happens? That's gonna be tough for the rest of the map. It's only 7 minutes even, they don't have that much time to let alone play out the stalemate, or even get another round after that, if this even works out successfully, so they have the work cut out for them, and Flying Spies is not making this easy at all, building as much as they can, don't want to fall behind on the Ubers at all to get this as quickly as possible, and this is the fun part now as well, right? Flying Spies, by all means, can't afford to just sit on seconds. And at most, like, throw one soldier in, have the effort be entirely on Agents to get something going.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely Agents' push, but I mean, you can get very complacent very quick if you try to get into that mindset, especially with just under 7 minutes left. I mean, it's pretty easy to lose that if you sit in like this sort of back. I think you want to get to at least their second before you start making plays like. They have cleaned up a sack in the meantime. They've sort of thrown Conflux a bit in, but he backs off before he, really commits to it. I think they don't really want to make any mistakes here because I think they are cognizant of the fact that with 6 minutes left, it's pretty easy for Agents to turn this around.
Yeah, it's certainly still possible for sure, so you gotta be careful on Flying Spies what you're doing. You don't want to give them opportunity. However, Agents on the other side have to take any they can, so pop through right away it is, just blind around the corner, see what sticks. They get one kill completely unrelated to the US memory, still staying deep as well, takes the entirely too long way out, and somehow might just still survive the pack there. Mass sure that is covered on the flank right there. In the meantime, Nerf is just continuing the reign of terror in the back, and like gets in on the flank completely for free. Dies for sure, but opens up everything for the team, but VB just guns it for the medic, just completely tunnel visions that, and it will work out. Toka there to clean up on top of that, might just actually make this a full wipe somehow, just on the mercy of the 2 scouts.
I'm gonna be honest, that was such a wild fight that my head could not follow it. But I can see the end result. Flying Spies able to sort of just go, okay, cool, nice push, and turn them into mince. They're able to push straight into this midpoint, but we do see Agents very keen to take this fight. They've actually gotten quite a bit of damage in that choke area. Not really enough to write home about, but they do clean up Lux on the flank as well. Maz taking him out in that cafe, which might give them just enough to sort of keep pushing here, but they need to be... I mean, they know they're on massive dis. So I think it's probably sack time.
Yeah, you can't even just afford to be sitting here trying to just run away to your own second if you're Agents, right? It's not going to help you. It's admitting defeat at that point. To just continue to fall back, give up ground. They gotta be the ones initiating on the situation where they have this ad, because the time is not allowing for anything else. They gotta be on the move as quickly as they can. No one's taking too much of a stance just now, but Oz is just signaling that they're not backing off anywhere. They have to come that way if they want to take this midpoint at all.
Yeah, and I think we're just going to be looking at these a little bit of poke. It is going to be even Ubers once again, so we'll have to see, because agents seem pretty keen on just taking solo Ubers directly in and trying to get that Uber cycle. I think it was it Marxist who said post Ubers are where you win games? They post, they set up for their post by using straight on through, sorry. And they did clean up one player, but they lost two. Their flank coming through, Nerf and Doc going down. Maz actually dying in that choke area as well. And that's going to result in a pretty good fight here for Flying Spies. It's not looking super fantastic for them though. I've lied, no, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it was a bit of an awkward death there, the last one they just took, but Andrews are still looking pretty, except, never mind, Memories decides to just want to win this game still. Unfortunately, spawns are coming in faster than that guy's getting any. Doc might still get that to keep up the fight. Oh, look at that, actually just baits Conflux in. Wants to keep fighting a fight that was not worth taking. And suddenly, there's just not enough players left standing on Blue's second that they have to just retreat. Doc overstays his welcome a little bit too much forward as well. Trying to chase deep into lobby already, while the rest of them are just sitting on second, sitting on point, taking what they can easily. But I can't blame them for just seeing how much they can get away with, because again, it's 3 minutes left, 2 rounds up on the blue team. You gotta make something happen right now.
I mean, it's really impressive how they've actually turned that one around, and they're looking to use straight on through. They get Oz in nice and deep. He almost takes out Lux, but they just managed to escape into that that last the what do you call it? Oh my god, spawn. There's some frags happening, but again, it's not really much to write home about until just then, when Derp died. Conflux able to come in from behind, I believe, and actually turn that Derp person into mincemeat, and that's going to be it for that push. 2 minutes 40 left on the clock. It's looking pretty good for Flying Spies here.
Yeah, this needs to be an imminent disaster for Flying Spies to not just be the end of the game as well here for map 1. And no one's in right now. That's not making things much more likely. Everyone just has to press W. It's the only chance they have. They can't wait for Uber. They can't wait for anything. This just has to happen now or never.
Yeah, and they're looking to push it straight on through. They've taken this dry fight. We've seen a few of these so far, and it's been pretty good for both sides. It's looking a bit good for agents here. They managed to pick up Conflux and Author right off the bat. That demo being down might actually give them the entry that they need. 2 minutes left on the clock. I mean, it's close, but if they can get this last here, I think they're in with a winning chance.
In it goes, the moment high in the sky, maybe a bit too much so, just levitated by the scouts as well. That's the Solly Bomb on the landing, but they're cleaning everyone up that goes for the combo, and left standing with people on point gives them a fighting chance here, but they're all so weak. Heals are gone for both teams. Scout on Cap eats a Sticky and Rocket at the same time. Trade for Nerf against Lux, with all four standing victorious on the last point. That is still blue, even if just barely.
I mean, that was such a fight. For a moment there, I thought Nerf might actually be able to cap that one with literally 1 health. But it just wasn't quite enough. I think Author spawned a little earlier than they perhaps should have, for the sake of agents. Minute left on the clock. We'll have to see if they're able to turn this into a round, just sort of get their mojo back a little bit. They look very keen to do it.
Here's a funny attempt for Doc coming through, but he's the one getting clowned on instead. Goes down pretty quick, and that shall be the dying moments of a game. Long over now. Rain and Gang are here on Flying Spies on their own last point. Just defending for the sake of it at this point. They can afford to lose this one. The timer is not making the comeback happen anymore. Agents couldn't clutch it out in the end. They had their chances, but couldn't just take any of them in the end.
Yeah, I mean, they really did make a really good effort. This was Flying Spies' pick, though, Sunshine. So maybe it's just, you know, it was the map they want, and they were more practiced on it, and they were very ready to sort of win this one, I guess.
Certainly a very close effort. You mentioned there were some less close maps last time they played, so I guess pick bans worked out a lot more favorably this time around, I suppose. However, still not enough to make the difference here in the end, as close as it is. Maybe the old maps help a little bit more, maybe playing to their strengths, or knowing where the enemies might have faltered in the past. Whatever it is that motivated these map picks of those two options come back into this map. For now, the Flying Spies are soaring high on the map 1 win on Sunshine, but they gotta have one more map win in the next 2 maps to make it out as the winners here Let's see how if they can do it, or if agents have what it takes to come back from this.
Agents already looking like they've got a bit of their mojo back, getting much more aggressive on that that red crate area. Oz actually get very, very forward in that one. They throw Doc through as well to try to keep him in choke, but they do actually lose him. They lose Nerf as well. Maz going down in addition. Also able to get enough damage off to make that one happen. They're throwing soldiers straight at Derp. It's looking like a very, very confident mid out of Flying Spies here. And they've already, you know, they've got players on second as we speak. The men in the demo are caught in lobby. It's just, destruction.
Well, luckily, Lux didn't know a Papilla moment. He went to last. They were just still sitting in lobby with the medic. He's just taking circles on last, going down for it too. And suddenly this whole thing kind of turned against him, just not realizing where the med actually went. Oz taking the initiative as well, wants to get some damage onto Choke, didn't get the kill with it. Would have been really good actually to keep the numbers advantage rolling into the midpoint, but it's still largely there. In fact, Vivi spawned half the night off the cap as well. Got like 4 seconds more just by losing this second point all of a sudden. Doc going down doesn't have the issue much. Lux behind him now, makes things awkward, gets in quick. Memories realizes, but much too late to do anything much about it. Saves the bat's life, but at the cost of his own. Gets another bomb in through, but they're actually hitting these shots wherever they are mattering right now. Look at that, 2 down in a matter of seconds, and suddenly, despite getting 1 down on entry, Agent's still in the fight on mid.
Yeah, Agents are definitely playing this one pretty calmly. They've managed to keep that player like ad even on the midpoint, but they did lose Nerf right towards the tail end of the one. Oz going down very low in choke as well, but they might clean up Toka here. Yes, they do. And that might give them just enough to walk back on through. That Scout pick is, I mean, it's big. You know, Scout's one of the strongest class. And it looks like they want to maybe try to get back through choke here, or maybe stabilize it. I think they're stabilizing in the end.
They're threatening stuff forward anyway. Doc comes through with a beautiful jump directly in front of Dramatic. But these rockets on Conflux are faster than their own. Gets the kill going just in time before Doc and spell disaster on the medics, and Rain will stay alive just fine. It's only 1 down, it's only Soldier down as well. You'd rather see a Scout going down for a chance on the sack towards the medic, faking one in, getting his second one right over the ramp there. But Dragok into the skybox, and at that point Duff has ages to react, and in fact also has ages to line up the shot that will take down the Soldier midair.
That was fun. That was a really gorgeous shot out of Oz there to remove Lux from the game briefly. But as that respawn timer comes through, it doesn't look like they're throwing a sack through. So I think it's going to be, we're just going to be sitting, looking at a bit of Team Fortress where we sit and we look at it, you know?
We'll see. I mean, there's some things you can do here, of course, beyond just sacking away. It's very early on in the game, so mentalities can shift here between teams. Some teams are figuring, well, we don't have to take too many risks just yet, so why would we? On the other hand, you have a lot of time to recover from something going back, so why not take a chance? We'll see what kind of teams these are in the stalemate, and for now, it's leaning one way for sure for Sniper on the field. However, on the other side, Lux is still taking chances, so very different approach to the stalemate already. In fact, it was supposed to be double bomb. Conflux just saw what was happening and decided, yeah, I guess we're just taking the sniper kill. Didn't even manage to get that one, however, so things have turned a little bit sour for Flying Spies on this one.
Yeah, I mean, playing the sniper here, I mean, it gives them that sort of pick potential, just like that, taking out Author. I was going to say, it doesn't give them much opportunity to push, but when you kill the demo man like that, that gives you quite enough. They do get Ubered into in that choke area. They give up on Maz as well, but it looks like Vivi might have overstayed his welcome. He's actually managed to flee straight through sewer, which is crazy. Doc coming through, being able to clean him. Conflux returning a frag through onto Doc. Being caught in that backline, both soldiers now behind the agent's team, and they've lost quite a few players. It's now just Derp really on his own. He's trying to flee through choke there, but he does end up going down. Maz the only spawner. He was running forward trying to save his med, but he just couldn't get there fast enough. That is, I mean, look, Flying Spies are really showing a bit of dominance here.
Yeah, that was really nice work by the double Lux flank. Both soldiers behind doing so much work for Flying Spies. Just wait out the last end of the push and just come back right in time to see them walking back right into double soldier spam into choke, taking down all they needed to bring this one back in their control. And with this Uber ad, surely this should be a good push until last here. However, again, there's time to set up a defense. It's not going to be a free one for sure. Memories on Sniper, Mass on the energy on the other spawn door as well. Just trying to make this as difficult as possible. This gun has to do a lot of heavy lifting now.
I mean, we've seen Agents defend against this sort of push. The Uber does come through, Vivi getting the lion's share of that one. A bit of a quick flash onto Author as the Uber fades. They do pick up Author with a trap on the point. Doc going down in the backside there as well. I think he was trying to get a bit of damage in that lobby area. Lux is currently caught in the bunker up top. Just trying to do something. Memory's just there to meet. And that's a very good defense.
I can't help but feel like Lux needed to just gamble it all, not falling back, but just continue to press W, just hoping on the med kill. That man was incredibly weak. Derp allowed to live that, staying where he was previously in range to sort of potentially killing him. As it stands, though, threat's not over yet. As much as they're getting the push going, there's someone trying to go to last. Unfortunately for Toka, that gun is still up. However, actually looking all bright on that, and Toka gets a kill onto Nerf, just rushing right on them here. Help forces D, but through onto double damage alone. This Uber is just struggling to get what's going on. Conflux late to leave. Lux also still behind, surprisingly, but is that really so bad right now? It's just right behind them for potential push of their own. Goes in ahead of the rest of the team, and that's feeling very awkward, I think. They have so much advantage, and they're not trying to play off that with the soldier behind. Feels like a huge wasted opportunity now to have to do this with 5.
I mean, I do agree with you, but I think they're probably okay to lose a soldier there. I mean, they've thrown Conflux in nice and deep. They've still got this full Uber at. They did lose Conflux, but they picked up Doc, so it's still kind of even where they were. You know, it's even players now. But they need to make this Uber happen soon, or they're going to lose this ad, I think.
It's not going to be as much advantage as a soldier kills Jamaica from behind, but I mean, 25% is not nothing. I guess get them covered all the way into us before they have to pop, but by this point, they already have on the other side. 2 agents can just use the second the blue was actually been committed. And this just leads to no chance to stay in anywhere at all. They can just force them out again. In fact, one of them doesn't even manage to do that. Look how awkwardly stuck behind. Tries to distract the rest of the team, just delay forever, but still dies before anyone does substantial damage. Memories this week, I suppose so, but also in no danger to be followed up on by people just not really getting in at all. And all this not really working out in Flying Spies' favor. And man, I don't want to be that guy, but just having a better push into second could have done them a lot of favors on this one.
I mean, look, I do fully agree with you. I think if Lux had waited there, maybe with that Uber coming through on a second at the same time, it really would have been destruction. Like, I can't see any world where that doesn't end very, very well. But look, I mean, they've got the sniper up nice and early. Sniper getting that peek through door 1. Toka trying for it, goes down actually. Doc was there to catch. They do clean up Doc for it, so it sort of prevents a very easy push out. And the Ubers are likely to equalize in the next, a quarter of a second. But yeah, I mean, I do think they could have maybe played that a little bit better and guaranteed a round.
Well, on the bright side, they're still on second. They have them, let's call it checkmate, I guess, but it takes a while to actually get to finish the touches going. And in fact, the only one getting finishes touches is Vaz right now. Picks a sniper rifle as well, much like the opposition did already. And they're peeking deep off that. Look at that. They're just in already on second. Awkward rotation past each other. Just trying to get maybe into last with this fight at all. Dragging people back instead of trying to do ground in any capacity. And they're getting good kills off this too. Walk over the soldiers, get the sniper in the meantime too. And it did do what it needed to, get everyone back to last and just right in front of Toka's rifle. On top of that, and suddenly what started looking really, really bad is actually just looking really, really nice for them here. Both players that are damage classes force them to cap. They're lacking on follow-up damage, all for really weak. Conflux down already, and just a sniper on top of that sure could get anyone killed in one shot, but even if that happens, you need splash damage to just really get point control, and that just is not happening with a 30 health double man at the end of this push.
Dude, I was smiling like a madman watching how bold they were, just pushing.
What Lux might commit to, if anything? There's one going their way already. It's a scout falling back. Lux does not want to risk anything, but Conflux of all people is just walling through the flank, and there's the bombs coming through. One disappears behind, Conflux just lands behind them, turns them around for Toka to just take initiative. Goes in while everyone's looking at the soldiers, and they're cleaning these kills up like it's nothing. 2 alive, 6 second spawn on the only one spawning anytime soon. This is gonna go straight onto point, and this will turn blue instantly.
Yeah, and I think this will be where we saw the pause come through. That is Flying Spies being able to take the first round on Agent's map pick. I mean, that's got to sting a little bit on the mental game. I mean, I know I would be a little bit like, geez, that's not good. But we've seen Agents come back from this sort of thing and sort of turn it around quite a bit. So, first round down, 20 minutes left on the clock. I mean, they're really in no major danger just yet as they come into this. They did take a fairly aggressive stance on the red crate again, but they did get pushed back very early. No frags just yet, but there is a little bit of low health. They're taking more of an aggressive stance on that red crate now. Conflux throwing himself in, the first frag going out. Conflux dying, so does Doc on the counter sack. We've got both of the blue scouts up on that height area. They get quite a bit of damage and quite a bit of ground. They clean up Maz. Lux coming in through that back end as well, being able to clean up Oz. Derp down very, very low. Derp's very, very likely to die, and that is that. It's a wipe. Lux in that back end once again, just absolutely destroying people, man.
Surprisingly, this is where the pause happened after the mid-fight happened, not at the start of the round like you would maybe suggest in a situation like this. But I mean, after a mid-fight like this, I guess there's stuff to talk about anyway. That was a rough one for Agents. They just got completely out-positioned the entirety of this mid-fight, slowly but surely, all for that to end just with a soldier behind them on their only escape way out of the midpoint here. Just outplayed on all fronts on mid, but gotta happen last as well. Memory is the only one doing that so far here. One quick snipe, and they gotta get the point quick. Captain's getting started. That moment baited for the point there. Gets taken down, but Memories continues to just clean up every bit of damage.
Memory's got 3 kills on Sniper in very quick succession to end up with only Rain surviving, bailing on their own. Lux actually up on Spy though, which is, I like it.
Well, whatever gets the job done, I guess, right? If Scout isn't doing it, just get the damage going on one singular target very quickly over range. However, Medic is just getting completely denied, just no chance of survival. There was more blue players around the guy than red guys that just went on feeding for a kill. They did not even get. Rain gets out alive just fine, and in the meantime, 3 people down off a Spy Scout pincer maneuver that I've not seen like this outside of what Highlander maybe before. Strange situation to be in for the Medic. Can't help but think that man might be a little bit upset about that. It's going straight on point already here. The numbers are looking thin. There's some spawns coming up, but everyone's still alive on blue.
I mean, everyone's still alive, but that Heavy is doing so much work. He's actually bullied them out just with his mere presence. I think they were a bit worried about the amount of damage that would come their way, and very happy to just go back, build up the ad, which I mean, they've got full Uber. Once they get the demo up, if they push this with, again, any sort of speed, it's not a guaranteed thing. We've seen them flub this sort of push, but, I mean, it's pretty good odds.
I mean, you don't spend the game on last for about 10 minutes of the 13 we played. Only is 1-0 if it wasn't for Flying Spies beefing some last pushers.
Yeah.
I guess that's not new grounds for the map to be in. However, Agents needs new grounds, right? They gotta see something different than their own last point here. They have not seen much else but their own red walls around themselves. Something needs to change, and for now, unfortunately, they're in a situation still where they are just stuck having to try badly not to lose, more so than having to try to win at the moment.
And we do see Flying Spies, they're able to clean up the sentry nice and early, which it might trigger the push. It does look like it does. They're pretty keen to push straight on through door 5. They clean up that gun once again when it just starts getting... Uber's still not used, and they've got a bit of ground through door 5. They have backed out quite a bit, but they send a scout through door 2. And Lux coming through door 1, but they have lost Author, which I mean, if I was them, I'd give up on the push. Yeah, and they have backed all the way up. They're all the way back on second. It does look like we're seeing a counter push coming out of Agent here. Oz going through that lower area. Not enough damage to really block him, but he does still have to back. Lux is above them, though. I don't know if they're aware. They must be. They must be. And they do a lot of damage to Lux, which is going to stop that possibility. And it's back to even.
Yeah, it's still... looking nice and cozy over here for Flying Spies, despite some resistance on Agents. Just not getting it done just yet. It's not going to be that easy to get out of here like I maybe have anticipated, I guess, with how it's been looking like so far. No, Flying Spies is making this incredibly difficult in turn for them to leave here. Another quick snipe, also spending more time dead than alive in this stalemate, but will it matter much? Are they going to find an actual opportunity? They're certainly trying to.
And they end up having to use the Uber. Oz going down a little bit too low through that lower area. And they've achieved, like, nothing with the Uber. They've captured the point, but they didn't get any frags. They didn't really, force the Uber or anything like that, which is just going to open it straight on up for Flying Spies to come back through. They clean up Doc nice and early in that choke area. Lux did get them a lot of attention, able to sort of push on through that choke area. They do still have the Uber here, despite having lost 3 players, which, I mean, commendable. I like it. So now they've got this Uber and they should be able to push straight into last with it.
Well, that needs still a few seconds of waiting. I don't know how much value agents can get out of waiting for respawns. Really matters here right now. In fact, they're just walking past them. What's left on last?
Oh
One
my
spawner against the team with Uber. The Spy and the Scouts fall back in time. Everyone realizes, wait a second, we messed up. There's a team on last and it's not us.
Yeah, this is like really quite wild. We do actually see agents get back there just in time to stop it. They lose Oz though, and the rest of the players come straight on through that lobby area, and that is that. 2 rounds to Flying Spies in not as much time as last time.
Yeah, certainly looking good for Flying Spies as it stands right now. Just fiending on agents. I can't really say impatience because, I mean, they had decent justification for most of the plays out of last they did, but just justifiable eagerness, right, to get this going forward on their own part and not just sit there on their own path, twiddling their thumbs, waiting for something to happen. They gotta make stuff happen, and they were waiting patiently for that on Flying Spies to capitalize when they could.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely riding high after that last map. They do lose one of their soldiers nice and early on the side of agents. They threw Nerf around, but he ended up getting cleaned up. They've lost another 2 players, and they've only picked up 1, so it's looking a bit gruesome for agents here. They've actually had to back out of that midpoint. They're back on. At least this time, you know, I think they have a little bit more in terms of players to defend. They do clean up Lux as well and narrowly avoid losing Oz twice now, actually. Which is gonna put them in a spot where they're not on their last. So that is a definite good takeaway for them here, I think, when you lose a couple of players that early.
Yeah, if anything, Agents is very much not letting Flying Spies be greedy in any of these situations. They're making that sure that the bottom line is safe as much as they can. Still standing strong here on second as well, will make things look a lot better as well in terms of trying to make a play happen themselves. Everyone's peeking a lot, no one's finding the opening they're looking for. In fact, who needs an opening? Just forcibly make one happen anyway. Also, if the beam goes in, BB takes the blue beam in return, but it's a slightly longer one, tries to go as deep as they can, gets right onto the medic, but fails just barely on the line. Toka trying to clean up from the sidelines here, but gets spotted very early. Doesn't matter. Just forcibly punches his way through everyone else, gets 1 kill on the dog, and still alive after it all. Might just get people in through choke as well if they're quick enough. However, doesn't look like they are.
I mean, I thought that was a golden opportunity to come through choke, but they didn't really react. But while Toka was still alive for such a crazy period of time, and that's going to give agents here 1 player ad that they're looking to try and push through choke with. Oz getting a lot of poke damage, but not enough to really make a push happen. And he doesn't have Uber to just jump straight in onto Rain again.
Not Uber's being built fairly even, though, so hard to imagine anyone will take too crazy of a push out of this. I mean, I guess it's 10 add on agents, and they slowly but surely are reaching a point where they have to be desperate. I mean, they exchanged it for nothing a second ago, and it didn't end bad, so wouldn't have been too surprised to see this happen, but no, they're playing this safe for now.
I like it. I mean, they haven't got a lot of time to waste. It's 11 minutes 30 left on the clock, which is definitely danger zone. But they're playing it safe isn't a bad thing. They've managed to clean up Vivi as a return for the frag onto Dot. And I think Soldier for Scout, that's a pretty good trade. So they might want to poke a little bit off this, as we've been seeing previously. But it looks like they're pretty keen to just take the Uber straight on through sewer. Yeah, they use straight on through, straight onto memories. So this is pretty good. They've cleaned up 1 player. We'll have to see how this post looks for them. Oz actually coming through that choke. A little bit tragic, bit of damage onto him. Nothing much to really write home about, though. They throw a soldier through, clean up Toka. Author managing to take out that soldier. Nerf going down. Derp actually dying in that choke area, just getting pinned up against that corner. Losing your med there, absolutely, like, you'd be screeching. I would be screeching. But they have managed to clean up Vivi and get quite a bit of damage. I don't think it's going to be enough to make much happen. But they've managed to pick up the midpoint. That's pretty good.
But is it worth the trade-off losing here on Matt? This is really the dilemma they're in, right? And I think we all know the answer. Blue team, once again, with advantage in hand, patiently sitting here, knowing fully well, once this Uber's up, none of what just happened might matter all that much. As long as they make a decent drop out of it into the midpoint, of course. It's still in their hands to actually make it happen, but also highly stacked in the favor to just get away with this and move this right back to the second point we came from.
I mean, I smell a really aggressive push coming straight through IT. The Uber gets used, Vivi taking a bit of it, so does Author. They get quite a bit of damage, but they lose Author in the middle of the Uber. As players, I believe, Did someone go behind them? No, no one did. I've been misled by, I don't know, my eyeball. We see the fighting actually returning back to the midpoint. Oz surviving here, and he's very, very aggressive. I mean, we know what kind of playstyle he's got. He's excitable. He wants to get in there. But it looks like everyone else has screeched at him. Come on, pull back. We've got a bit of ad. Let's build. They have picked up Vivi straight there in the... And now that they've got a bit of heals out, I mean, they can really play with this ad as they push straight on through. Oz gets the Uber. He throws himself nice and deep, but he isn't actually able to get onto range. They have picked up 2 players, though, Conflux and Lux. Being both soldiers down and Vivi just spawning, I think this is the opportunity that agents need.
That started very dangerously. Vivi got a lot of damage done there, but no, it's them flying in. Oz just mid-air pipes on people, lands right in Vivi's face. Guys just spawned, immediately back down again. 3 down at all times for flying Spies. They're not recovering from what just happened on mid, and barely are able to maybe on last. Oz still riding the high from what just happened. Tries to get in early, try to get some position onto point maybe, but Captain only now opens up. Doesn't matter. Toka down, gives them some fighting chance to keep this going, and Vivi doesn't get back to the beam either. That man just has been spending the entire last 2 minutes dead instead of playing the game. That's a quick play on the medic here, gets the force going, but even if they get dirt with this Uber, it doesn't matter. There's 4 people on red just bombing the point at the same time and claiming this round as their own. And with 2-1 on the scoreboard, there's a good chance they can still make this happen.
I mean, dude, Oz absolutely carried his team to victory with his aggression there, man. That was absolutely insane.
Definitely, yeah.
Derp doing a lot of work as well. I saw him hit like 7 arrows on Oz. It was crazy.
Well, let's see what the mid-fight can bring in this situation. He wants to get a bit of a rotation out of these 2 teams here, seeing what position they can take away from an enemy team that will actually favor them in the end. But looks like Nerf is the one taking the bait in the end. Lux tries to quit on flank, falls back early, and Nerf wants this kill too badly here. Conflux on a similar position though, actually. Tries to go in on the combo side. Gets taken up pretty early. Double hits some good damage there. Offer doing good work for the rest of the team to maybe get in on, but everyone's struggling getting forward at all. He's trying to so desperately to do this all on his own and just lands in front of the scout. All on his lonesome. There's the trade kills coming out, and suddenly it's just them completely cornered once again. The position in Flying Spice's favor. That's the spawn coming through as well, just trying to help out desperately, but it's the only one that's actually alive anymore. Nerf just barely gets back from respawn and instantly just all of the faith on the team just on his shoulders, and with a meta Uber like this on the blue team, this is going to be a tough one to make happen.
I mean, that was gross. Lux was behind once again, like right near the start of that mid, just locking off that sewer area and doing a little bit of poke damage, keeping him in that corner. And while they're in that corner there, I mean, everyone can shoot it, and there's really no negative because they're up on the high ground. That was a really, really well played mid out of Flying Spies. They do lose Toka on second there. Oz hitting a bit of a miracle pipe onto quite a few players there. But I don't think it's going to be enough to slow them down. They have got, what's that, 30-40 advantage? Which they're grinding up, looking to take it into last. Maybe try to extend this advantage in terms of rounds out a little, and you know, just sort of secure the win, maybe.
I mean, hey, with a position like this, 1 round up, 2 rounds up, doesn't matter. Just get this clock to 0 sooner or later here, and I mean, hey, they can make this 2 up very quickly. Look at that, Uber already up, just popping through 1 very early. Nerf just getting away from that, completely scot-free though. Gun takes the rest of the attention from the Uber away, and suddenly invincibility is off. Derp at 80. Something has to happen quick, or else this will turn ugly real fast for Flying Spies.
I think Flying Spies have flubbed it again. Yeah, in fact, they know it. They've backed straight on out. Conflux really the only person preventing the push here, and he goes down through that lower IT area. Oh, sorry, lower lobby area. And the rest of his team is there to follow up with the Uber. Rain going down very, very low, but not actually dying. Poker actually dying at choke there as well. Vivi's on the last though, and there's no one to defend.
Well, I mean, there was,
he's on
but there was people on last, I think is how you should phrase this one. He just punched through them to get to the point.
He's on 1 health when he had that, man.
That is plenty with my eyes. Who needs any more than that? Just shoot them.
Just shoot them. It's golden advice as we come into this. It's turning into a bit of a do or die moment for agents. They do collect Rain nice and early, but they lose 2 players for it. They have collected Lux, so that gives them a even player advantage. But then we do see a nice big bomb out of Conflux to clean up dirt. It's not really enough to make much happen. However, because we do see Agents actually looking like they end up on the upper end here with two of their players surviving, Oz and Memories. Memories went for a bit of a chase there, but wasn't actually able to clean up Toka, that last play. Especially since Toka's gone behind. It's, it's a bit dangerous.
Someone's trying to be the imposter over here, but is anyone falling for it? Oh, there's the medic. Oh, sees it coming to look at it. Here's the med above him. And just goes for it right at the perfect time. The imposter strikes again and again and again.
I like audibly groaned when that med frag happened. Toka finally going down, Memory's able to make it happen. And that puts him in pretty dire straits. 4 minutes left. I mean, look, I've seen teams take 2 rounds on process in this time period. You got to really start making things move. Oz actually trying to get a bit of fragging in. He's doing what he can to try to clean up Rain, but he does end up going down, just sort of pinned between a rock and a hard place. He was behind the rock. And he does end up going...
I got that reference and I clapped.
I hate myself, man. Vivi trying to poke through Choke with the sniper, though, and even cleans up Dirt. It's all kind of falling apart for Agents here, isn't it?
Yeah, this brings me back to my breaking point theory, and I think we're firmly there. This is just a team having broken their opponents. I think we've reached that point for sure. And Flying Spies is just trying to bring this home as comfortably as they can at this rate here. And Agents just trying to hold this together as much as they can. Memories has been hitting just shots even last map, but will that matter? But right now Uber comes into last, and granted, barely anyone's on it. It's just a Devilman going deep. This Toka finally connecting with things, but at that point he was actually faded already, so they pushed in and thought about what they did with it afterwards. Kinda doesn't help much here, but surely Lux behind will win this fight, right?
I worry about his odds. Maz is about half health on heavy there, 160 on the point. But I think that's probably enough to really sort of ignore the threat there as Memories goes up and just removes Lux from the game. Vivi up on Sniper as well, does manage to clean up Doc in that choke area as they try to push on. 2 minutes 40. I can't mathematics it. I don't know if it's possible anymore. I'm not sure.
They don't care if it's impossible. They want to see this happen. They're literally betting it all on Red. They're putting up the crits quick. They're just dry pushing this in early before they see any spawns coming. There was some flank. There's the sniper as well. Vivi just hunting people right now.
Oh, Derp is just... I don't think he's having a good time, man.
Well, at least he won't have much more time here either. 2 minutes left, and those are ticking by fast at this point as well. If you're spending most of it in respawn queue, it flies by like it's nothing. And at this point here, Flying Spies is just... Well, I'm sure Flying Spies have a grand old time right now. Oz maybe not so much. Lives a headshot on 1 HP. Anything will kill him. Hits an ice pipe. Conflux tries to do the thing where you land on your own rocket. That doesn't work if you don't have any health left after the rocket lands.
Not quite enough to save his life. Vivi may finally die. Yes, the Nerf and Maz combo managing to take out Vivi. Derp working on building up, I believe they're still on crits? Yeah, building up the crit. As the Uber did get forced through choke there, Rain finally fading. Does go down to Memories as well. Unfortunately, Author's nice and deep onto Rain, as is Toka, and they were able to clean up, sorry, nice and deep onto Derp. My apologies. And they're able to clean him, and that's going to be...
Is it crits? Is it co-op? You tell me, but time certainly is telling the story here more than the gameplay does at this point.
Oh, yeah.
This is just things happening, and they know why they're doing it, because all hope is lost for Agents, and Flying Spies is just having fun with it. They certainly deserve the win here, I would say. Just had control of this match for so much. Agents struggled putting up a fight against it after a certain point, and just... I mean, most of this game has been on their own last. Admittedly, there was not too many things that worked with Flying Spies, but they just stopped Agents from even being able to put up any chances that could have worked in the first place. And if you're in that position for this long, you are, in fact, gonna be the winning team.
Well, on my last cast, I was quoting someone, and as part of the quote, I was saying, you know, like, when you put them in a position where you're on their second and you're holding them in their last, you only have to get lucky once, whereas they have to get lucky every single time. And I think
that sounds like a Kados quote.
I think it was the... but,
I mean, what's the difference? Am I right?
But yeah, I think this is another great example of that. I mean, we've just watched Flying Spies just hold them in there, and they kept on trying and kept on, you know, eventually they got to get lucky.